Alright guys, now, before I get into my Monday Night Raw review for this week, I have a few things I want to tell you guys. First, I may not be able to give you guys any more wrestling videos or movie videos this week, because this week I might be gone tomorrow, and I might be gone for a couple of days on vacation and stuff like that, so, unfortunately this will be the only video I have this week, probably. But hey, who knows? Stuff could change, and I may end up not going on vacation like I think I am. But I more than likely am going on vacation. But just in case I'm not, here's the thing: you'll know I go on vacation if I don't have videos for the rest of the week. But if I don't go on vacation, then I'll have more videos this week. But more than likely, though, this will be the only video you guys see this week. That's the first thing I want to tell you guys. Secondly, did you know that you can get the WWE Network for $9.99 a month, and that you can watch SummerSlam for $9.99 a month? $9.99 a month? Holy Jesus! They shoved that damn network down our throats this week. It was ridiculous. I mean, at first when Triple H did it to start off the show, I thought that was funny. But then they kept on doing it. Hour number 1, hour number 2, hour number 3 of Raw. It was getting repetitive and ridiculous. I could have sworn they told us about the WWE Network and the $9.99 a month about 100 times on that show. It's getting ridiculous. Just want to say it. Alright guys, but enough chit-chatter here. I'll get into the Raw review. So, for this week, to start off the show, we had the Authority come out, and Triple H said this year's SummerSlam will be the biggest pay-per-view ever. Which I have to agree with him. I mean, this SummerSlam pay-per-view is looking really good. So I'm really looking forward to SummerSlam this year. Then he runs down what the matches will be at SummerSlam. I'm not going to say all of what he said will be at SummerSlam. You guys can check it out for yourselves. Or if you watched Raw, they told you countless times what the matches were for SummerSlam. But either way, he's running down what the matches will be for SummerSlam. And, like I said, he continually shoves the WWE Network down our throats. Then he says Seth Rollins had an idea for a Beat the Clock challenge between him and Ambrose, between him and Dean Ambrose, and whoever beats their opponent in the shortest time gets to pick the stipulation for their match at SummerSlam. Which I thought was pretty cool, or a good idea. And that Dean Ambrose's opponent is Alberto Del Rio, and Seth Rollins' opponent is Rob Van Dam. Then Stephanie McMahon says later on they are having a contract signing with Brie Bella for the main event. And then Triple H says Roman Reigns will face Kane in a last man standing match next. It was an okay start to Raw, I guess. I mean, it really wasn't really too exciting, but it was okay for what it was. Then we had Roman Reigns versus Kane in a last man standing match, and Roman Reigns wins, which was to be expected. I didn't care for this match. Here's my logical question: how could Roman Reigns get up before the count of 10 after a chokeslam through a table? That, to me, was not realistic at all. There's no way you could have gotten up. I mean, he did, but to me, it's just not realistically possible to get up after a chokeslam through a table before the count of 10. I mean, if that was anybody, if that was John Cena and it wasn't like a last man, if it wasn't a last man standing match, like if Kane did that to John Cena, he would be out cold. I mean, it just really was not realistic there. I did not like that. One thing I want to say, though, is that I'm glad the WWE is going with Chris Jericho's Fozzy song, Lights Go Out, for SummerSlam. I think that's a good song for SummerSlam. It's off of Chris Jericho and Fozzy's new album, Do You Want to Start a War? And Lights Go Out is a pretty good song. And then Damien Sandow comes out to Jim Ross's theme and a Soners shirt and helmet, and he mocks the Texas crowd. It is what it is. I mean, at this point, I really don't care what Damien Sandow does anymore. I mean, sometimes it's funny, and sometimes it's just stupid. And then we had a Texas relative, Mark Henry versus Damien Sandow. I think you guys know who won that. Then we had the Beat the Clock match, the first one, Dean Ambrose versus Alberto Del Rio. Dean Ambrose wins. It was an okay match. But it took a long time. I mean, that match was like 15 minutes long. And he was supposed to beat the clock, and that match was 15 minutes long. So pretty much everyone was saying, oh, Dean Ambrose is going to lose. He cannot pick the stipulation for SummerSlam and all that. And also, next Monday Night Raw, Hulk Hogan is having a birthday celebration with special guests. So that should be exciting. Hopefully, hopefully Hulk Hogan does not talk about the WWE Network 500 times. I hope. I really hope. And, I mean, hopefully his special guest hosts are good, too. It's probably going to be the people from Legends House. I don't know. Then we had Rusev versus Sin Cara, and the match ended during commercial break. That was absolutely stupid what the WWE did with that. Really? I mean, you're too lazy to put that match on TV? At this point, if I was Sin Cara, I would quit. I would quit. You get buried on commercial to Rusev, not even on TV. If I was Sin Cara, I would quit the company today. That was absolutely dumb. Then Lana sings happy birthday to Obama because it was Barack Obama's birthday, and she sings to him in she sings to him in like in the Russian language, and then Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter shut them up and mock Lana, Rusev, and Russia. And then Rusev and Jack Swagger brawl. Rusev gets the better of Swagger this time. All in all, pretty good segment. Then we had Dolph Ziggler versus Cesaro with the Miz, the Intercontinental Champion, on commentary. Dolph Ziggler won. He's been on a winning streak lately, which I like to see. I don't really know if Dolph Ziggler, though, will win at SummerSlam. I kind of see the Miz winning at SummerSlam. But we'll see. Maybe the WWE will finally give Dolph Ziggler a push and have him become Intercontinental Champion. The one thing, though, that I do not like is that the WWE should not have Cesaro be looking too weak. They're making Cesaro just look really bad now. Cesaro has lost a lot of matches lately, which is bad. Yeah, so either way, he just needs to stop losing matches. I mean, I know that he's no longer a Paul Heyman guy, but if he's going to be working for the Authority, I just hope he just needs to stop losing if they want to push him. Then we had Stardust and Goldust versus Rybaxel. I don't care. Then we had Chris Jericho versus Luke Harper, and Chris Jericho beats Luke Harper by disqualification after Bray Wyatt attacks him. So now Luke Harper and Eric Rowan are banned from ringside, or they cannot be at ringside, and they cannot help Bray Wyatt at SummerSlam versus Chris Jericho. So it's officially just a one-on-one Chris Jericho versus Bray Wyatt. No Luke Harper, Eric Rowan. And then this was perhaps the dumbest thing on Raw tonight. We had Fandango and Hornswoggle versus Diego of Los Matadores with Summer Rae and Layla by his side. This was incredibly stupid, and I don't care for this feud of Fandango, Layla, and Summer anymore. I don't care. It's boring, it's stale. I really could care less now about Layla, Summer Rae, and Fandango. I mean, it's just old, it's boring. And this whole match was stupid. It was a waste of TV time. And then we had Bo Dallas versus R-Truth. Did not care. Then we had Rob Van Dam versus Seth Rollins. And the Authority changes the match. It's now Heath Slater, who I thought was fired. I thought the WWE released him or something. I didn't know he was still around. Versus Seth Rollins, which I thought was dumb at first. I thought this was just stupid. They should have just had Rob Van Dam versus Seth Rollins, and they still could have, instead of Heath Slater. But during the match, Dean Ambrose comes to ringside to distract Seth Rollins. Dean Ambrose rips up the Money in the Bank contract paper, and then he dumps soda and popcorn in the briefcase, which I thought was kind of funny. And then Slater pulls off the upset and beats Seth Rollins. And so now Dean Ambrose gets to pick the stipulation this Friday night on SmackDown. And yeah. And then for the main event, or for the main part of Raw, we had the Stephanie McMahon and Brie Bella contract signing. Stephanie slaps Nikki with the contract after Steph and Brie verbally trash talk each other for a while. and then Steph slaps Nikki with the contract paper, and then gives a pedigree to Nikki Bella. And then while this is happening, Triple H is blocking Brie with the table, with the contract table. He's blocking her in the corner by the ring post so that she can't get to Nikki. And so Brie tries to save Nikki by slapping Triple H in the face, and then as she tries to jump over the table, Stephanie beats down Brie Bella, and then gives her a pedigree. And so, yeah. And I gotta say, Stephanie executed the pedigree pretty well. Triple H is teaching her good. And I'm actually looking forward to this feud between Brie Bella and Stephanie McMahon. I hope it'll be a good match at SummerSlam. And again, I'm surprised that this was the main attraction, or the main event for Raw, kind of. I'm just surprised. But it was a good ending to Raw. All in all, for Raw this week, guys, Raw did a good job with the story build for SummerSlam. They did a good job building up matches like John Cena and Brock Lesnar. They did a good job building that up. They did a good job building up Bray Wyatt versus Chris Jericho. They did a good job for Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, and The Miz and Dolph Ziggler, and all that other stuff. I mean, they did a good job with that. They did a good job building up SummerSlam, but some of their matches on Raw tonight, like the Hornswoggle and Fandango, and Bo Dallas versus R-Truth, and what else? Rusev versus Sin Cara, Mark Henry versus Sandow. I mean, these were all bad matches to me. There was maybe one or two good matches on Raw tonight. The good matches on Raw tonight were the Beat the Clock match between Dean Ambrose and Del Rio. That was a good match. The Dolph Ziggler versus Cesaro and Chris Jericho versus Luke Harper was okay. The rest, though, was just dumb. The rest of the matches were dumb. And, what else? And the segments. Some of the segments were stupid. And, like I said, they shoved the WWE Network down our throat. So overall, I wasn't really too impressed with Raw this week. Like I said, they did a good job building up feuds and storylines for SummerSlam. But some of the matches sucked and the segments sucked. Let me know what you guys think of Raw this week. And, yeah. Talk to you guys later.